Well, an ancient discovery is shedding light on the early church. The Megiddo mosaic dates back nearly 2,000 years, and experts believe it decorated one of the earliest Christian worship sites in Israel.
For more than 1,500 years, the wetlands of Galilee guarded a secret historians never expected to exist. For centuries, scholars believed that every word Jesus spoke to his disciples had already been written down, captured in ink, sealed within the pages of the Bible, fixed forever. But that assumption may have been wrong. On the northern edge of the Sea of Galilee, archaeologists have peeled back layers of soaked earth to reveal something astonishing: a Byzantine-era mosaic floor preserving what appears to be a direct command from Jesus to Peter, a sentence never recorded in any gospel. And these words don't just challenge historical assumptions, they threaten to reshape the very foundation of Christian theology. The secret beneath the slime. Local legends along the shoreline refuse to die. For generations, fishermen told stories of carved stones surfacing during droughts, of walls and foundations briefly visible when the water retreated. They spoke of a great structure swallowed by mud. Most scholars dismissed the stories as folklore, but one archaeological team decided to take the risk. They weren't hunting gold, they weren't chasing treasure, they were searching for a town mentioned repeatedly in the Bible, yet somehow erased from the earth. The dig began under brutal summer heat. The air was heavy with rot and wet soil. Pumps ran constantly, fighting back lake water that threatened to refill every trench. Each foot deeper felt like a battle, as if the land itself resisted exposure. Weeks passed, morale dropped, skeptics seemed right. Then a volunteer's trowel struck stone. Not soft earth, not debris, stone. Clean, sharp, deliberate. As the team cleared the silt by hand, straight lines emerged, corners, walls, perfect right angles. This wasn't rubble, it was architecture. And it was massive. Thick walls, monumental scale. Then, unmistakably, the curve of an apse, the semicircular space reserved for an altar. This wasn't just a church, it was ancient, and it stood precisely where early pilgrims claimed Peter's house once stood. Historians had mocked that tradition for centuries, but the mud at El Araj told a different story.
A city cursed and lost. To understand why this matters, you have to understand the location. This wasn't Jerusalem. This wasn't Nazareth. This was Bethsaida, the hometown of Peter, Andrew, and Philip, the site where Jesus healed the blind, the place where thousands were fed from almost nothing. It was the operational center of the apostolic mission. And yet, Bethsaida carries another distinction. It is one of the only cities Jesus explicitly cursed. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus declares, "Woe to you, Bethsaida," condemning the city for witnessing miracles without repentance. He foretold its downfall. By the 4th century, Bethsaida vanished. Roman records fell silent. Maps erased it. The earth seemed to swallow the city whole. For nearly 2,000 years, scholars argued over its location. One site sat high and dry, too far from water to be a fishing village. The other lay submerged, swampy, ignored. The church at El Araj ended the debate. Beneath the Byzantine basilica lay Roman-era fishermen's homes, complete with net weights, hooks, and 1st-century coins. This was Bethsaida. And the church wasn't built randomly. It was centered precisely over one specific house. The house that was guarded. The Byzantine builders treated this structure differently. They enclosed it, preserved it, revered it. You don't build a massive basilica over a fisherman's home unless that home means everything. The conclusion became unavoidable. The builders believed, without doubt, that this was Peter's actual house. Oral tradition had survived. Memory had endured. A small community had guarded the site until the empire became Christian and the monument could be raised. But the church wasn't just a memorial. It was a vault. And locked inside that vault was a sentence meant to survive time itself.
The Byzantine Code. As conservators cleaned the mosaic floor, Greek letters surfaced. At first, the inscription seemed ordinary, a dedication to a bishop. Then it changed everything. Peter was named not merely as an apostle, but as chief and commander of the heavenly apostles. The language was deliberate, hierarchical, absolute. Buried in Peter's own hometown was evidence that early Christians saw him not as first among equals, but as supreme leader. Then came another title, key-bearer. The familiar verse echoed, but the mosaic went further. Surrounding the inscription was a circular medallion containing faint, nearly erased letters, invisible to the naked eye. Infrared imaging revealed them, and what emerged stunned everyone present. It was framed as a direct quotation from Jesus, not from any known manuscript. "Guard my house, for I go to prepare the heavens." Nowhere in the New Testament does Jesus tell Peter to guard his house, and prepare the heavens is not the same as prepare a place. This suggests division of responsibility. Jesus departs to build what comes next. Peter remains to protect what anchors heaven to earth. And suddenly, the church's location matters. The house wasn't just symbolic, it was physical, a fixed point. The mosaic aligns with ancient agria, sayings of Jesus preserved outside the Bible. Finding one carved into stone at a pilgrimage site gives it weight no manuscript alone could carry. Peter wasn't just a leader, he was a sentinel.
The breach. Why guard this house? Some early Christians believed holy sites were battlegrounds, places where spiritual forces collided. But fringe scholars push the idea further. What if certain locations function as anchors? As above, so below. Bethsaida wasn't ordinary. Miracles clustered here, physics bent, reality thinned. Seen through another lens, this wasn't theology, it was topology, a node, a breach. Peter wasn't guarding a congregation, he was guarding a threshold. Gnostic texts speak of gatekeepers, watchers of realms, custodians of crossings. This mosaic may be a fragment of a Christianity that was later simplified, its cosmic mechanics buried beneath doctrine, the silence, and the return. The church wasn't destroyed by invasion. It collapsed during an earthquake in the 8th century. The ground swallowed it, mud sealed it, the coordinate vanished. For over 1,000 years the site lay unguarded or hidden for its own protection. And now, just as the world feels increasingly unstable, it resurfaces. The timing feels deliberate. The instruction reappears when reality itself feels strained. Guard the house, protect the foundation, watch the breach. The tools are packed away, the mosaic reburied, but the words are loose now. We thought we knew the story of the early church. It turns out we'd only read the summary. The technical manual, the interface between heaven and earth, was buried in mud, waiting. And now that the house has been found again, one question remains. If Jesus told Peter to guard it while he prepared the heavens, and we are only just rediscovering it, is the preparation finished? What else are we missing? Drop your thoughts below, and if you want more deep dives into buried history, like and subscribe. The ground is still speaking.